Good morning, good afternoon, good day, greetings. This is the Upper Room, and I am your host today, Eugene Holden. And today it's just me, and that's a good thing. Well, it's all good. It's all good. And so today I wanted to talk about something that has been um, swirling around in my head, and and it has to do with guilt and shame. Are they the same? Guilt and shame, are they the same? See, experience has led us to believe that guilt and shame are linked together, right? That we feel guilty about something that we've done wrong. We are taught to feel guilty about something that we've done. We've been taught to feel guilty about not graduating or not going to college, or guilty about um whatever it is that we have been taught to feel guilty about. Some people have been made to feel guilty about not getting married, or maybe feeling guilty about marrying the wrong person, right? Or then on the other side of that, made to feel guilty about getting a divorce, and made to feel guilty, maybe perhaps about staying with someone when that particular relationship doesn't work, right? We are made to feel guilty about a number of things. You know, we are to feel guilty telling someone off, or yelling at a child, or, we are to feel guilty about, we can fill in the blank, right? But what if we took a different look at that word guilty, right? What if we took the feeling out of it? Like, we are made to feel guilty. What if we were to take the feeling out of the word guilty, and then really get clear on the fact that being guilty is really meaning that I've done this, right? I'm guilty of yelling at someone. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of driving my car erratically, or just feeling guilty about driving, or being guilty of driving my car. I'm guilty of not doing XYZ, or I'm guilty of doing that. Now, that takes away the feeling of, and what we're talking about here really is that takes out the feeling of shame, right? See, guilty and being, guilt and shame have been linked together. I know that the dictionary says that guilt is an English word meaning sin or crime, or things like that, right? But we're talking about taking the word guilty and taking the feeling tone of shame out of the word guilty. For example, I am guilty of doing this right here with you right now. And I'm guilty of this, right? Now, do I feel shameful about it? Not at all, right? Of course not. In fact, I get to feel any way that I want to feel. See, so now that brings us to the feeling of shame, right? Because people will say you should feel ashamed about that. You should feel ashamed about how you speak with that person, or how you spoke to that person. You should feel ashamed for, again, fill in the blank. Now, shame is a feeling, right? Now, I want to bring in something else, right? We are made to feel ashamed. you know People will say, well, you make me feel this way, you made me feel that, you made me feel this way, you made me feel that way. Well, the truth of the matter is that you are more powerful than that. When I allow someone to make me feel a certain way, I've given away my power. When I allow myself to say, you made me feel upset, you made me feel ashamed, you made me feel, right? So when I'm saying you made me feel, I am actually giving away my power, because the truth of the matter is that no one can make you feel anyway. Your feelings are yours. Had an experience with someone who was just all in my stuff. You made me feel this, and I thought we were friends, and um, when you wouldn't co-sign, or you wouldn't refer me for this position. Well, I thought we were friends, and my explanation to that person was, um, I didn't want to get involved in being a reference for someone for a position, because somebody else may come to me and ask me to do the exact same thing. And I did not want to be a part of that decision making process, because I did have some influence with what was going on there. And I didn't want to be a part of that decision making process. And that's how I explained it to that particular person. Well, my dear friend was really upset that I didn't do that. And he just could not hear where I was coming from. And when I kept hearing that I was making them feel a certain way, there was nothing else that I could do about that, except for, what? I love you and I bless you and I hope you get the position. But it was clear to me that that individual could not see where I was coming from, right? And one of the things I said to them is, I can't make you feel anyway. I don't have that power to. So when someone says to you that you made them feel whatever it is you made them feel, ashamed, upset, hurt, whatever, remember, now you don't have to say that their feelings are theirs, because they are. And it may not be that the experience may not provide the time, or it may not be the time in that experience to say that to them, but know within your own self that you can't make anyone feel anyway. They choose to feel the way that they feel. I have a pretty close experience, right, with one of my beautiful, beautiful kids, one of my sons, who doesn't call, and he doesn't return calls, doesn't return texts, right? And he says that, well, that's a Holden thing. I'm like, no, son, that's your choice. Right now, I used to feel bad about him not giving me a call. I used to feel bad that he would not return my text. And I would have these thoughts going on in my mind of, what did I do? Right? What did I do? Well, I've since then have grown to understand that it has nothing to do with me. That's his journey, whatever that journey is for him. I don't feel ashamed about how things transpired within the family years ago. I've done that forgiveness work, and I've taken my power back. So no longer do I think or wonder if there was anything that I've done which keeps him from reaching out to me. I no longer do that. Instead, what I do is I keep my heart open, keep my mind open, and whenever he wants to reach out, I am here for him. So when we talk about guilt and shame, there's the action of guilty, being guilty. Yes, I'm guilty of doing this. And then there's the feeling of shame. Do I feel shame about doing that? Now, I don't have to feel ashamed about doing that. Now, I can feel sorry, and I'm going to ask for forgiveness, for doing that, right? I am so sorry that I made a mistake in doing that. Now, making a mistake and feeling sorry for it is not the same for me. Not the same of feeling shame, right? Man, I messed up. Golly, I'm so sorry for that. Now, if I am not aware, I can allow myself to feel shame about what I did. Now, when I am stuck in shame, that's exactly what I am, stuck in shame. And when I'm stuck, I can't move. When I'm stuck, I am no longer in this creative mode. When I'm stuck, I am just stuck, right? And then there's a spiral, this downward spiral that I can't get out of until I forgive myself. So, forgiveness is a beautiful key to freedom, especially when we're talking about forgiving self. When we're talking about forgiving self, we are talking about loving ourselves. So if I have done something that has caused someone pain, let me first of all make amends. Let me ask for forgiveness. And then most of all, let me forgive me for making the mistake. Guilt and shame, they're not the same. Yes, I'm guilty of doing this. I have been found guilty by a jury of my peers, right? Meaning that I've done this. Yeah. Yes, I've done that. But now do I feel shameful about it? And that's where we want to be aware of. Are we feeling ashamed of what we have done? Which is not the same as feeling sorry for what we have done, right? Or not feeling remorseful for what we've done. Those are not the same as being ashamed of what we done. I am so sorry that I did that. It must have made you feel a certain way. I'm so sorry that I've acted in that way. I'm so sorry for the behavior. Please forgive me for that. Now, here's the thing about that one. Please forgive me. If they forgive you or not, that's not on you. That's theirs. You've done your part. You've done your job. You've reached out. You've asked for forgiveness. Whether they forgive you or not, that's on them. If they don't forgive you, that's okay. If they do forgive you, that's okay. The main thing is, have you forgiven yourself? Right? So guilt and shame. Forgive whatever it is you need to forgive. Don't allow the shame of what you've done keep you stuck and keep you from creating the life that you are here to create. So that's all I have for you today from the upper room. Guilt and shame, are they the same? That's for you to take into your own conscious awareness and play around with that. And if you have shame about anything that you have done in the past, take a look at it. Forgive it. Get the lesson. Ask yourself, why did you do that? Right? And then again, forgive yourself. Take a look at it. Get the lesson and move on. Thank you very much. This has been The Upper Room with Eugene. And I will see you noon Eastern time. Have a beautiful day. Go out and make this a great, grand, and glorious day. Peace and abundant blessings.